Hello, friends. A happy new year. A happy 2024. And welcome to episode 14 of the Kpop Weekly podcast with Emily Mallon. I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here and start the new year talking about K-pop, my favorite thing. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I do this show weekly. New episodes drop on Friday morning. Depending on where you are in the world, we have a global audience. I myself am located in Los Angeles. This week, we're going to talk about legends in the K-pop game. TVXQ are celebrating their 20th anniversary. They dropped a ridiculously good project that isn't being talked about enough. So they are my first review of 2024. And then I'm going to talk about Woodz. Woodz gifted his fans two new songs before he enlists. And NCT 127, my guys. Great holiday release from them. They gave us three songs. I'm going to give you my full review of all three of those releases. Plus, I want to talk about these year end shows. It's been a few weeks since I've talked to y'all. A lot happened with the year end shows and the award shows. I, of course, gave you my thoughts on Mama and the Melon Music Awards, but a lot's happened since then. And I want to give you my opinion on the good, the bad, and the ugly with these award shows at the end of the year. Tons of K-pop news. I've got big comebacks to report. And my favorite group is going on tour. You know who I'm talking about if you're a loyal listener and viewer of the show. We'll get to that when we get to the news. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. It always feels weird to get back into your routine, right? Do you guys have New Year's resolutions? I don't have specific resolutions. I find that if I say I'm going to do something and then I don't do well the first month, I give it up. I think resolutions are hard to keep. So instead, I have kind of goals and smaller habits I want to change. So good luck to all of you if you have resolutions. My resolution for the show is to continue to grow, to have as many K-pop fans tuning in weekly as possible and building a strong community around K-pop weekly. It's about the music. I love everything else that goes into K-pop, the styling and the storylines, of course, the visuals. But for me, the most interesting part is the music, and I'm going to give you full album reviews every single week. I've written a lot of album reviews. My background is in music. So that's what I'm doing here. And that's why I love talking about K-pop. Yes, I do wear the same type of outfit, a black tank top every week. The reason for that, I'm not trying to detract from what I'm saying and from the message. I don't want the show to be about my fashion or my looks or me trying to be an influencer. I'm not trying to be an influencer. Unless I influence your music taste, that has never been the goal of this show. My goal is to spread the gospel of why I think K-pop is the best music product out there. I want to turn people onto it who maybe never gave it a chance. And I want to validate all of you fans in saying, yes, this is good. So that's why you will see me in a black tank top every week. This is 14 weeks in a row. It's not going to change. Just wanted to give a little aside because I think a few of you are probably wondering, why is she wearing the same thing every week? Simplicity is best in life. I wear black all the time. If you know me, black is my color. So, yeah, just a little aside. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for staying on this. And Patreon will be released very soon in the next week or two. Check out social media, check out the links under this episode. The Patreon will be there if you would like to join and get some really cool benefits. I'm also waiting for some merch samples. I want to make sure I like what I'm releasing for you before I put it on sale. So, waiting for the samples to come so I can decide finally on some merch. And it's not just going to be, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's going to be some really fun K-pop merch. I will also be getting the official website up soon. So look forward to that. I don't have an official website. I do, however, have social media, a newsletter, a lot of fun stuff out there for you. So check the links in the description of the show if you'd like to connect in more ways, and look forward to that website, Patreon, and merch It's coming. Slowly but surely, this is all coming together. I feel like I kind of soft launched last year, and now it's time to ramp up and get K-Pop Weekly podcast at full steam. So I'll be working hard this month. Look forward to all of those things. But let's get the show going. Let's get this going. I'm dying to talk about this TVXQ release. If you don't know who TVXQ is, they're a 5-member boy group that debuted in 2003 under SM Entertainment. In 2009, 3 of the members wanted out from their contract with SM. And this led to a legal battle with those 3 leaving and eventually forming their own group called JYJ. And Changmin stayed with SM and they've continued as a duo for well over a decade now. So, this new album is a celebration of the group's 20th anniversary. It's cleverly titled 20 and 2. 20 years, 2 members. Very cool. They gave us 10 songs. Thank you. This is a full album. When I was sharing my favorite songs and albums from 2023, I talked about how there weren't that many full albums last year. A lot of singles, a lot of EPs, a lot of mini albums, but we're really missing the full album in K-pop. I hope that comes back in 2024. But at the end of 2023, TVXQ gave us 10 songs. Down was the pre-release single. I love that song. I'm going to talk about it here in a second. But the title track is Rebel. Oof. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. I love the beat. I love, love, love the beat. This beat goes so hard. It's intense. It's badass. And there's a really interesting sample of Carol of the Bells. And I know that that sounds like it probably wouldn't work in K-pop song and this powerful up-tempo, cool K-pop song, but it actually works really well. I really liked it. They did release this album the day after Christmas, December 26th. So I guess that ties in, although the lyrics have nothing to do with it. And again, the whole vibe really has nothing to do with Christmas and Carol of the Bells. But the music part that they use is very effective and melodic and cool. So I love that. I love when they sample older songs, traditional songs, classical songs. It's clever and exciting. And they nailed it with this one. The chorus in this one is a little bit more almost like spoken, a little vocal fry from It's cool. It's different. It's definitely different. I kind of thought with the build of the verse, the chorus was going to go into something else, but then it goes low and you have this like sexy, interesting, drawn out, almost spoken rap part. So it's an interesting chorus. I will say I liked the pre-release single more than Rebel. I think Rebel is good. I think Bad is great. So I'm going to talk about that. But this song works vocally. These two have such a nice dynamic because has a lower voice, he raps. He can also sing pretty well. But then with Max Changman, you have soaring vocals. Not enough people talk about TVXQ as vocal royalty in K-pop. And I will be honest, I'm guilty of that. On this podcast and over my past now 4 years podcasting about K-pop, I've talked about the SM groups being legends vocally. Of course, I talk about Red Velvet, Shiny, and you all know I think EXO is the best vocal line in all of K-pop, period. However, I haven't given TVXQ publicly enough flowers. And I think that vocally, these two guys alone, they're so great. And with the higher and lower vocals, you have that really nice dynamic back and forth that I appreciate. So in this song, we get to hear that. It's a good song. This is a good song. It's fun. It's different. It's exciting. And what I like about it, and I want to touch on this more throughout this review, because I think this is a very important point in what they're doing. Musically, sonically, they're not trying to chase the trendy sounds of K-pop right now. They're not trying to be young and cool and do what's trendy. they're doing their own thing. And in doing that, it really sounded fresh and exciting and new. I like this sound. So that was really refreshing because I kind of hate when older K-pop groups chase a quick trend instead of just putting out great music. Really, any K-pop group. You can tell when they're chasing the trendy sound instead of maybe cultivating their own identity. With a group like TVXQ, who's been around for 20 years, they're their own thing. They're royalty in this game to still be working and doing this. And I've got to tell you, not only do they sound good, these two men look good. And that's right, these are men. These are not boys. Don't get it twisted. These are grown men who are so confident and charismatic. I'm telling you, if you don't know TVXQ, you're going to want to check them out when I'm done with this. Let's talk about the music videos. Speaking of looks, speaking of how great these guys look, the opening sequence is so cool. It's these really quick cuts with like vibrant colors, great choreography, futuristic vibe. It almost felt like they were on a spaceship. And I love how they use dancers to make formations around the two members. This is a case where the dancers add a lot instead of just being there to kind of fill the screen or on stage, fill the stage. When you have two members, the dancers really kind of complete the choreography. The styling really works too. A shout out to SM Stylist. They both look cool and handsome. And I actually really like it. There's a break later in the song where they're not kind of in futuristic gear. They're wearing street clothes. And a hot guy becomes even hotter in a baseball hat. I don't make the rules. It's true. A handsome guy becomes even better when he's wearing a baseball cap. For me personally, I think it's like the cutest look. I absolutely love it. And has on a baseball hat. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy. When I first saw, I reviewed his comeback a few years ago, a solo release, and it was fantastic. And I couldn't believe like how handsome he was. I was just blown away. This guy in a baseball hat. Thank you to SM Stylist. I appreciate you. But what I love most about this music video is the same thing I love about the song. They're not trying to be young and hip. They're not wearing ridiculous outfits. They look like grown men. It's so refreshing, like they're confident in their style and what they do. And it's infinitely cooler than 99% of the K-pop music videos currently out there. This music video is so cool. And I love the choreography. The dancers moving quickly to that Carol of the Bells melody. So good. So good. I'm obsessed with it. I think it's really smart and just well done. It's a great music video and it made me excited. And this isn't even my favorite song on the album. So let's talk about my album picks. I'm going to be real. They gave us 10 songs and I can easily listen to this album front to back. I listened to the whole thing all the way through a lot of times in the past 2 weeks since this came out. It's a really solid album. There isn't a bad song on this album, but these are the songs that stood out to me most, and then I'll let you know why. Down, Rodeo, Life's a Dance, Fix It, and Take My Breath Away. Okay, I mentioned Down. That was the pre-release track, and I prefer it to Rebel. It's the album opener. It goes so hard. There's a really cool, almost bluesy guitar that kicks things off. And then those vocals. Ugh. Their voices are so good, but on top of that, they know how to use them. These are real vocalists. These are artists, not just good singers singing the words they're seeing on the page or like mimicking what the producer tells them. You can tell that they're artists at this point. I love listening to them sing. In Down, that build to the chorus when the intensity ramps up is wonderful. But this one stays a little grounded. This doesn't go in a different direction like Rebel. I love the bridge. You have this stripped down guitar and bare vocal moment that is so effective. And then Changmin, He hits the sickest note in this one. It's stunning. Stunning. I love this song. It's so intense. I've been going back to this song a lot the past couple weeks. I understand why they did Rebel, and I think Rebel had some cool stuff. But for me, the Christmas stuff, releasing it a day after Christmas, it didn't really work because the song had nothing to do with that. I understand Carol of the Bells, but like, I don't know. I think Down is a better song. And I think that could have been the title track the day of the release instead of the pre release. I may have just switched those two. Let's talk about Rodeo. Oh my goodness, that twangy country guitar before the beat drop. I'm so here for it. Little known fact, I secretly vibe heavy with some country music. When it's done well, I love it. And I love story songs and emotion. So there's some stuff in that genre I vibe with. But I really like when K-pop groups bring a little country into the show. You know, they bring in so many different genres and sounds. That's only natural. And in Rodeo, you've got a real nice twangy country guitar at the beginning. I love the phrasing in this one. What a cool song. That chorus goes so hard with that melody and beat. It's memorable. It's pleasant to listen to, for lack of a better word. This is a wonderful song and it goes hard and it's cool. Something throughout this whole album, they're not afraid to go really hard. They're not afraid to do aggressive K-pop. They're not staying in the like, we're cool, sexy guys in suits who are just going to stay mid tempo. They're going for it and they're going really hard in some of these songs, and I appreciate it. Rodeo is just a cool song. This is a hit, it's a banger. Let's talk about Life's a Dance. Oh, this is my good mood song of this album. It's joyful, it's celebratory, and I really appreciate the use of horns. You know, I love when a good horn section comes in on these songs. Really nice use of horns here. The structure of this song feels pretty simple, but they always do something with the phrasing that's cool. Again, these are artists and they do phrasing that grabs your attention and it can make a pretty basic song elevated. And they do that in this one. There's one part where they sing like it's all right and slide down. Those little things. It's simple, but that little slide changes up the feel and the melody, and it makes my ears perk up. As a listener, it's exciting. And they do that really well and not all the time. They're not doing crazy runs, and we know they can. They place those things very specifically, and it works so well. It's talent and it's artistry. Most importantly, Life's a Dance is just a joyful song going into 2024 to celebrate being alive. Celebrate this moment we're in. Celebrate the wins. Celebrate the littlest wins. Even in the darkest times, life's a dance. And there's a lot of times something positive to be found. And boy, in those joyful times, you want to climb up on a mountain and dance. And this is the song to do it too. I loved this one. Next, I had to put Yuno's song Fix It in here. Little funky vibe. Now we're transitioning into a more funky vibe. Nice bass line. Love the bass line in this. And you've got a really cool groove in the chorus. This is one to dance to. This is just such a nice kind of change of pace a little bit. They do a lot of different stuff on the album, and I love a funky song, and Fix It is funky and fun. My last pick is Take My Breath Away. Oh, beautiful ballad from Changmin. He has such a powerful voice. But I've got to be honest. I mean, he's got this super powerful, commanding voice, a lot of power in his high range. But when he pulls back, it's those tender verses in this song that grab me. He knows how to connect to the emotional core of a song, and the results are stunning. And it's what I keep coming back to, that these guys are artists. They know what they're doing. It's so refreshing. And I think maybe I'm so excited about it because I've been reviewing a lot of younger groups. You know, I do so many reviews on this show. There's such a stark difference between a group that just debuted and between 20-year veterans. In every field of life, there's a big difference between someone who it's their first job ever and someone who's been doing it for 20 years, there's just a difference in maturity and in knowledge and in the things you pick up that you can only pick up through experience. So it's not even a talent layer there. But on top of all of that, these two are very, very talented. And I thought Take My Breath Away was so pretty. It's gorgeous. And I've been going back to that one quite a bit. But all of these songs are fantastic. I have to say, and I know I'm like sounding like a huge cheerleader right now, but I'm just excited because I love this album so much. And a lot of recent releases haven't been no skip for me. This is a no skip. I'm giving it a no skip. Listen to the thing all the way through. It's gorgeous. And if you're new to TVXQ, let's say maybe you check out the music video or you listen to the album, I would highly recommend go to YouTube and type in TVXQ Killing Voice. They just did a Killing Voice. If you're not familiar with Killing Voice, it's just the singers in front of a microphone. That's it. And they go through like kind of their greatest hits of their whole career. Red Velvet did one recently I love. EXO's is probably my favorite of all time. A lot of groups have done it. But not all the groups do it because there's not really a place to hide. There's not tons of vocal effects or a backtrack. So they actually have to be able to sing. The only groups that go on this are the ones that can actually sing. The lip sync groups don't seem to appear on Killing a Voice ever. Just saying, TVXQ is not a group that lip syncs. So check them out. It's fantastic. And it's just a great way to be introduced to their catalog. I highly recommend Killing Voice TVXQ. I highly recommend this album. Very, very talented. And they're both really handsome. Let's be honest, it's K-pop. These guys, both of them are very handsome and they're tall. So yeah, like sign me up, TVXQ. This would be my type. Let's just put it that way. Speaking of, let's get to Bias record. There's only two guys in this group. I think it's obvious now. I really, really like Yuno. Yuno's my bias. Changmin's my wrecker. I love them both. Both these guys are so talented and handsome and charismatic. It's time for my rankings from TVXQ's new album, 20 and 2. From my least favorite to my favorite, disclaimer, this is a no skip album. There's no bad songs on this album, and I rarely say that. I love this album. So these are just by a hair, but there's no least favorite for me. Number 10, Promise. Number 9, Starlight. Number 8, The Way You Are, unplugged version. Number 7, Jungle, great song. Number 6, Fix It. Number 5, Life's a Dance. Number 4, Rodeo. Number 3, Take My Breath Away. Number 2, Rebel. I like it. It's a strong title track. But my number one song, it should have been the title track and the single. Pre-release was not good enough for this one. It's Down. Favorite song on this album. Such a strong opener. Give this album a listen. The whole thing is good. So proud of TVXQ. I liked every song. It's a fantastic release, and I'm mad at SM for dropping it on December 26th. I feel like that release date kind of buried it, and it deserves way more attention. So I'm happy I got a chance to give a full review of it tonight. Like I said, it's fun watching young, hungry groups starting out. They bring energy and enthusiasm. But there's nothing like watching grown men who are pros knock it out of the park. And that's what TVXQ just did with this release. I'm proud of Yuno and Changmin, and I wish them another 20 years. And shout out to the fans, because I'm sure you have to be so excited and so proud of this release. Let's move on. I want to talk about Woodz. If you don't know who Woodz is, I've reviewed him on my previous show, New York City K-Pop Queens. He debuted in 2014 with the boy band Unique. He went solo. He's competed in reality shows. He eventually kind of re-debuted in 2019 with the group X1. He's since done a lot of solo stuff, and he recently announced he's enlisting. Tough year for enlistments last year. But first, he gifted his fans with a single album, 2 songs. The title track is called Amnesia. This is very interesting. This was a very interesting one. I loved the guitar at the opening. Like there's kind of those muted strums, where you clamp. I don't know sorry, my mind's going blank, but there's a real nice short strum of the guitar notes in the opening. It sets the tone for the song. It feels kind of like a 90s alternative angst, grungy song. And I like that vibe. But what stood out for me, it's the vocals. The song is about running away from your feelings, pretending you don't remember. This is emotional, this is powerful, and this is vulnerable. I was in love with the first verse. I think Woodz has such a beautiful, beautiful voice. And when he opens it up, when he opens his voice, oh, it's gorgeous. So the first verse of this song, I was blown away. I was in love with it. But I've got to be real. The chorus threw me off a little bit. I felt like the guitar was way too loud and fast for the melody and kind of tempo of that melody and of the song. It just didn't quite work for me. I liked the guitar solo. I thought that was fine. And there was definitely a place for that. But that vocal melody with that like loud, 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 heavy guitar felt a little bit off in the chorus. I just selfishly, I wanted the song to stick with the tone of that first verse because I thought it was so gorgeous and I just wanted more of that. But I understand that he's really leaning in to being a rock star right now. And the chorus is part of it. I get it. And I think he executes that well. I just don't think it was the right placement in this song. I want to talk about the music video though, because I thought the visuals were really beautiful in this. It felt so different from a K-pop music video, a K-pop release. And it really reminded me of Silverchair's Anna's song. It's very specific. You may not be familiar. And I don't know why that like came to mind right away. I think maybe it was the lighting, the color grading, but there was something in it that kind of brought me back to that music video, which is again a throwback to 90s grunge alternative. Woodz looks so cool in this. I love the hair, that little bit longer black hair. Really handsome rock star. He's believable as a rock star frontman. I'm buying this. If he wanted to do this for the rest of his career, he should because he kills it. I love almost everything he's put out, however. I think musically he can kind of go wherever he wants, which can be a dangerous place for an artist because sometimes you need to like cement your identity. I don't think he has that problem. And it's a blessing to be talented and be able to release stuff in different kind of feels and genres. But this rock star look is working. He looks so handsome. Obviously, it doesn't hurt that he's shirtless. Yes, that's it's usually not a bad idea. Just gonna put it out there, guys. Not a bad idea. Shirtless with a guitar. Again, rock star, like little Gavin Rossdale from Bush. I'm loving this. Clearly, I love 90s grunge and alternative. Um, the band scenes obviously really work. And I really liked the imagery. There's random imagery spliced throughout the music video. Some of it looks like a painting that like raindrops or teardrops are falling on. Some of it looks like kind of bloodstream movement in someone's body, like from a biology video when you were in school or something. Or what it reminded me of was Requiem for a Dream. So very far away from K-pop visuals in that regard. And just in general, this isn't like 90s grunge music video. Very cool. There's a whole like bathtub thing and there's a girl looking for him. And I like it. I think the music video works. And I think he gifted his fans with something very interesting and memorable. So kudos to Woodz for that. The B-side on this one is called Behind. Very cool. This is a dreamy, like chill song. And this time it sticks with that vibe. I was waiting for the chorus to kind of throw me off again, which I want to say that's not a bad thing. I'd rather a song is different and interesting than so boring and formulaic. So no shade. Sometimes it just doesn't work for me. But this one stuck with a vibe. And I feel like in this specific song and behind, I could be wrong, but that sounded like a tambourine to me. And there's something, it's not often done, but when a tambourine is well placed, I love it. It can really work. And I thought it worked well here. It didn't need crazy loud drums or percussion. So that tambourine beat, really nice. I may prefer this song to Amnesia. I'm not sure because that opening verse in Amnesia is so beautiful. But both songs have some really bright moments, and I think this is a wonderful project and a great gift for his fans. Woodz is a really, really talented guy, and I'm sure his fans love these two songs and are ready to welcome him back from enlistment with open arms. Wishing him a safe and speedy enlistment. Maybe if I say it, time will go faster. He's a talented guy. And this was a nice send off for him. So, congratulations to Woodz. Love you. Wishing the best for you. Next review, it's NCT 127. If you're not familiar with NCT 127, 9-member boy group, they debuted in 2016 under SM Entertainment, kind of an SM night. The guys just released a 3-song project. It's called Be There For Me, single album. And the single, the title track, Be There For Me. This is just a warm fuzzy of a song. If that ever existed, that's what this is. It's a soothing mid-tempo friendship kind of / love song. I really liked the organ intro, and it has those horns. I specifically love them in so many of NCT 127's B-sides. It's funny because this group is kind of known for their loud, aggressive, banger type of songs, hip hop heavy. But when they slow things down, they're so, so good. I wish people who maybe aren't a fan of their singles would listen to their B-sides because this group can go so hard, so aggressive. I think they have the best choreography. They're so handsome, but like they're also very, very talented vocalists. They have an amazing vocal line. And when they slow things down and peel back everything else, they're so, so good. And I think this song showcases it. I liked in this one that Yuta got a moment. Their vocal line is so, so strong in this one. You're consistently in NCT 127 going to have standout vocals from Taeil, Doyoung, Jaehyun, Haechan, Jungwoo. They have so many vocalists that sometimes kind of the sub vocalists don't get their moment. I loved that kind of the spotlight belting moment went to Yuta, and he knocked it out of the park. Of course, everyone else got their time to shine as well. But there's something about this song that just feels like a warm hug to the fans, to each other. It's this overwhelming feeling that things are winding down. Bittersweet. Bittersweet. Speaking of enlistment. But let's not Debbie Downer this one. Let's get. I want to talk about this music video though, because I just kept saying out loud, cute, cute. Oh my God, cute. So, so cute. Again, NCT aggressive, hard guys can be the cutest guys in the world when they want to. And I loved the visuals in this music video. I guess they're kind of like elves of some sort, is the way I would put it. They work at a furniture factory, and then there's this like fancy auction for furniture, and they win. Whatever. It's beside the point, honestly, because they just look adorable. I love the winter outfits and seeing them joke around with each other. And I want to be clear, adorable and cute doesn't mean they're doing cutesy, young schoolboy type stuff. It's more, they're just being like vulnerable and a little softer. And it's great to see. The styling was great. I do love the preppy outfits. I love the suit jackets and blazers with ties. It's the night and the week of baseball caps. Taeyong, who most of you know I adore, is wearing a baseball cap with his preppy outfit, and he looks so handsome. I mean, he is just killing it, but they all look great. I specifically loved those outfits. I also want to give a special shout out to the choreographer of this specific song, because this could be a challenge to make choreography that's not cutesy. And this choreography isn't cutesy. It sticks with their identity. It's cool. There's still a little bit of a kind of swaggy vibe to it, even though the song is a little bit cuter, if that makes sense. I love the choreography. It's cool. It goes with the song. It's perfect, actually. And most choreographers would have done something completely different. So shout out to whoever choreographed this. It was so nice to see Taeil, even though he couldn't participate in the choreo. If you don't know, he was in a motorcycle accident last year, serious accident, and had major surgery on his leg. He won't be able to dance for a while, which has been devastating for 127 fans because he is the oldest member and he will be enlisting soon. So, I love that we kept getting to see him. But this song and the music video and the feel of this whole project, it's kind of reminding fans and each other that they're going to stay loyal to each other and to their fans, and they hope that we reciprocate. Duh. I'm going to be real. I will always ride for 127. I have since I got into this. If you listen to the podcast when it started, I've been a 127 fan for a very, very long time. They're one of my top K-pop groups. When people always ask me, who's your top 5? NCT 127 has been there since it started. Okay, let's get real. I will always be loyal. I will always be there for them. They helped make me a multi-fan. So I just love them. I also want to give a specific shout out to their stylist. I was talking about year-end award shows. Obviously, I liked the styling in this music video, but at the year-end award shows and at all of those type of events, 127 always shows up to the red carpet dressed to the nines. They wear tuxes, they wear classic suits, and they look so handsome, refined, and classy. I've always appreciated that. I've always loved that they show up dressed for the event, not being cool, not being trendy. They're classic gentlemen. Love it, because if you're a fan, in some of the music videos, they go crazy. They really push boundaries with their styling, but they know to show up to the red carpet looking like old-fashioned movie stars, and I've always appreciated it and loved it. So shout out to whoever has made that choice in SM. I like seeing them when they show up on the red carpet looking like proper gentlemen. A nice suit or tux is like a baseball cap. An already handsome guy is going to look 10 times hotter. I don't make the rules. It's just a fact. They always look so, so good on the red carpet. Shout out to 127. The rest of the album, before I move on, there's 2 B-sides. There's Home Alone, which is kind of this like happy mid-tempo chill track. And then there's White Lie, which is a traditional ballad. Some interesting vocal moments. You hear Johnny on this one a lot, which is nice. Not a lot, but I mean, you hear Johnny. Great bridge, traditional NCT 127 bridge, where you're getting those highlights from Jaehyun and Doyoung, Taeil, Haechan. But to be honest, like, these are definite B-sides. A lot of times, I'll say, I love this B-side, or this should have been the single. There's no question in this release, Be There For You is the single, the title track, the spotlight. And these are kind of fillers. They're not bad, but I wasn't blown away by either one. Congratulations to 127. Again, I think it's bittersweet. I think this is a little bit of a goodbye, a little bit of a reminder. You guys stick with us. This next year, 2024, is going to be a year of change for 127. There's going to be enlistments, solo albums, I would guess, subunits. I hope we get Do Jae-jung again. I love that subunit so much. Release those 3 guys again. But Taeil and Taeyong are definitely going soon. And you all know how much I love Taeyong. Like, that's going to be a real tough one for me. These enlistments, they don't stop. And last year was a tough year. Monsta X gone. Now you're going to take 127 from me. Like, I mean, It's fine. Like there's other groups I like and that I'm excited about, but when you're taking like when all my alts are enlisting around the same time, that is very difficult. So thank God Baekhyun's back. Thank God Hyunjin is still here with me because I have lost some real ones this past year. Okay. Hyungwon, Kian, Taehyung, Jungkook, now Taeyong. Whew, not fun. It's not fun being me as a K-pop stan right now. I've got to tell you, when Taeyong enlists, I think I'm going to have some trouble. That's going to be a rough few weeks for me. So get ready for more crying on the pod. Most of you are probably already used to it because I do seem to cry at least every other episode. I'm emotional. I can't help it. I'm an emotional person. Um, let's move on. I want to talk about these year-end award shows. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm not going to give like a full recap and all of that stuff. Most of you have watched them. And if you haven't, you're probably not going to go back and find them. There were some major issues with a couple of them. I've got to be real. I was very disappointed in general with the award shows and with the year end shows this year. There wasn't much that I thought was exciting and amazing. And that's not to say there weren't good performances, but I've talked about this before. There's so many crammed into a couple weeks, they all blend into one, and it's very hard to get excited because you've already seen this group do that song 4 times on other award shows. So it's kind of like, all right. So I'm not a huge fan for that reason, but the production in a few of them, the direction, the production was embarrassingly bad. I'm speaking specifically about SBS and the Seoul Music Awards. Okay. You all know I'm a huge stay. You all know they're my number one. Stray Kids, I think they're the most exciting group in K-pop. I've been a huge champion of them for the past since 2020. Just to toot my own horn for a second, in 2020, I said this is the most interesting group, and they will be the biggest group in K-pop in a couple years. So here we are. So I'm a massive stay, and there's a lot that happened on the SBS stage that was really disappointing. This was a year-end show. It was like SBS Gaon, a big kind of arena stadium type of layout. So there was like a center stage and some catwalks. Not only did the lighting just not work for some of their show, while everyone else got really fancy, cool light effects, but they turned off their backtrack and put on Super Shy by New Jeans while Stray Kids were in the middle of the performance. Do you know how confusing and disorienting that is for a performer? Like, that's ridiculous. That's totally unacceptable. And what's interesting is that didn't happen for one other group or one other person. That only happened for Stray Kids. Not only did their lighting and everything else not work, they literally turned off their backtrack and put Super Shy by New Jeans on. What? What? Who's in charge of this? Who is doing this? Because to me, that's not just an innocent mistake. I don't understand how in the middle of someone's set, you could accidentally turn off their audio and put another group's on. So do I think they were purposely sabotaged? Yes, I do. It didn't happen to any other group the whole show. And interestingly, this was the second time that they had something happen to them during a year-end celebration or award show where a HYBE artist was all of a sudden being featured in the middle of their performance. Like a week or two previously, while they were performing, all of a sudden facts about 17 starts scrolling on the screen below them. It was weird. And that one I thought, well, maybe that was an innocent mistake. But now that this has happened twice and it's only the Stray Kids and it's HYBE artists being promoted in the middle of their performance, I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't even think it's like being a conspiracy theorist. I think it's yeah, this stinks to me. And I do think there was something there. Even if it was accidental. Okay, so let's say no one's sabotaging it. They just are accidentally having their performances get screwed up. I think they should refuse to go back. I think that they should refuse to go back. And this SBS issue was such a giant F up. that they didn't post Stray Kids performance. They immediately started posting all the artist performances on YouTube on their official channel. So fans who didn't get to tune in could check them out, which of course I always do. I like that stuff's right there for me. But Stray Kids was nowhere to be found because they waited and edited out that part because there was such an uproar on social media and such an uproar from fans for what happened. So they tried to like cover it up. We saw it. Everyone saw it. You're not slick. No, everyone knows what happened. And it doesn't matter if you edit out that little part, like in doing that, they're trying to make it like Stray Kids screwed up their performance. That's even worse. Yeah, miss me with that. You're not slick. You're not like fooling everyone. Stray Kids are amazing live performers. And that was really unfair. And I wish JYP would say, screw you, we're never coming back. When your artists get treated like that, there's a lot of politics behind the scenes. And I always go back to what happened with Mama and EXO. And when they said they were never coming back and pulled them out of there, good. Good. I was so happy to see that. And now, years later, things have softened again, and SM artists go to Mamas, and EXO was nominated, even though they screwed them over once again this year. But I think as a label owner and as a representative and as management, you need to stick up for your artists. When something like that happens, I hope everything that has to do with SBS, Stray Kids do not attend or help them in any way moving forward. They don't deserve it. That is such a major disrespectful F up. And yeah, I don't understand how that wasn't on purpose. And they've never given like a real explanation or apology either. So I don't know, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but only Stray Kids and only Hybe artists. Anyways, the Seoul Music Awards were a mess. They messed up audio with a bunch of different artists. So that was one that just seemed like the actual production was horrific. They also tried to make it like a concert. Like fans bought tickets for it and they got to go to sound check. Like it's an award show. It's not a concert. What are you doing? I thought that was so bizarre. And the sound was just horrible. Horrible. Like a lot of times the track went off in the middle of the artist performance and they were just dancing to nothing. And then it would come back on in a different part. It was a mess. And I want to give a major shout out to Bam Bam from GOT7. I love Bam Bam. I'm a big fan of his, not only musically, but I like Bam Bam's personality. I think he's got a winning personality. And he tweeted it was the worst sound ever. Worst sound system he's ever performed with, you could say. And then a few people kind of were talking about it on Twitter, and he responded, I'm never going to another award show again. Bam Bam. Bam Bam's putting his foot down. I don't blame him. You put all that effort in to have this amazing performance, and then the production is like so amateur and horrible. You end up looking bad. Why would you put yourself through that as an artist? I just don't understand how this keeps happening in Korea. I don't understand it because like we see the amazing product that K-pop groups put out. We see their music videos. I watch a lot of K-dramas, so you see all of that and those are fantastic and phenomenal. Why can't they get an award show right? Why can't they get this year-end thing right? It's not that hard. That it happens all over the place. I just don't get it. It like blows my mind. It blows my mind. And I have never produced a large scale award show. I think I could do one that probably has less screw ups than this one. That's kind of pathetic because it would be my first time and I have no clue. I think I could figure it out. I think I've done enough production at this point that I could probably figure it out or at least hire some people who have the experience too. So like they all need to get it together. All of it. It's been a real mess. But my takeaway from this segment is I was very disappointed with the year-end shows and award shows. I thought they, for lack of a better word, sucked in 2023. And I hope 2024 brings us better production. I also hope Stray Kids kind of say, whatever, we're not showing up because that was really bad. And to put that much effort into a performance. Oh, they also spelled Stray Kids' name wrong. They called it Starry Kids, I think, instead of Stray Kids. Um, I've got to give kudos to them because when they went and did a live after the awards show, they were joking. They're like, "Oh, we're Starry Kids," and they said that like their song was the remix version with other artists or something like that. So that was funny. I also was really mad because at that SBS Guion, whatever it's called, they were supposed to do Stray Kids NCT 127 collab stage. That never happened. So what the F was that? I was really looking forward to it. I kept being like, where is this? Where is this footage? It didn't happen. So whoever reported that, shame on you, because I was very excited. Yeah, it was a mess. It was a mess. It was a mess. So you didn't miss anything if you didn't watch those. And yeah, I'm over it. It's time to kind of change up all of these shows. I mean, I did like when Hyunjin did Play with Fire at the MBC Music Festival. Then he did like a duet dance with Yeji from ITZY. Like that was cool. I liked that. But still, I'm over these award shows. One of the reasons why I was so disappointed this year, I really felt the loss of SM Town's New Year's Eve show. You know, they used to do this amazing show. It streamed live. It was free. And it was so well done. I looked forward to it the past couple years, and not having that really hurt. It was like such a hole in the year-end K-pop stuff. So I hope they bring it back. I have a feeling that was probably Lee Suman, and now that he's not there, we're missing out. Yeah, I felt the void of SM Town's New Year's special. Let's get into some news. Here's what's happened in the world of K-pop since I last spoke to you. I tried to stay up to date these past few weeks while I was enjoying the holidays back home with my family. A lot's going on. Okay, first, Baekhyun from EXO. He started his own agency, and it's rumored that Chen and Schumann will be working with him. So that's kind of exciting. Get that trio together. Obviously, they're all still members of EXO, but there's been a lot that's happened this year with SM. We all know that these three didn't want to sign a contract to continue with SM. There was just a lot that happened. So luckily, they're still with EXO, but congratulations to Bake. Congratulations to Baekhyun. I know he took out like a $10 million loan for the project, and that will hold, he said that that's going to help hold him accountable, make it work when you've got that pressure. Ugh. I'm nervous for Bacon, but I'm very excited. He's a superstar and I'm sure he'll succeed. So good luck to him. Staying with EXO, congratulations. First Snow topped the charts, picked up music show wins 10 years later with like zero promotion. It's not like they were trying, you know, it goes viral. Everyone's doing the dance challenge on TikTok, and here you go. So, congratulations, EXO. That's very cool. Stray Kids, a lot of exciting stuff for Stray Kids year end. They were the number one selling, top selling K pop album in the United States last year for 5-star. Not surprising and very well deserved. They released a video step out on New Year's Eve, kind of showing what's to come in 2024. I thought that was smart. So we're definitely getting a new album and then a special album. I'm not sure what that is, and a world tour, plus a lot of reality show content. I have a feeling the world tour announcement's coming very soon, maybe by the time this podcast comes out. So I'm excited. I'm already nervous for ticketing. You know, it's going to be so hard. I'll be shocked if these aren't stadium shows. I think they can sell out stadiums all over the United States and all over the world. So hopefully stays that have never had the opportunity to see Stray Kids in countries Stray Kids haven't visited yet get to see them this time. You know, I'll be there. I'm so excited. Stray Kids will be in Paris on January 26th, performing a charity concert alongside Blackpink's Lisa, J Balvin, Maroon 5, and Pharrell. Congratulations to them for that. And they were also announced as CJENM Visionary 2024 picks. This is they kind of select these like pioneering figures who are, you know, bringing new visions to Korean entertainment. So they are part of it. Stray Kids are part of it this year. It's a big deal. Congratulations to them. Very excited. And I want to say, like, this is just an aside, but some Stray Kids fans sent protest trucks to JYP today. I record this on Wednesday, so it's Wednesday, January 3rd right now. These fans sent protest trucks to JYP protesting their style, protesting the stylist because they don't like the recent styling. I guess at the awards show, year-end shows, y'all, come on. Honestly, first of all, you don't speak for all the fans. Maybe some people love that styling. So just because you personally don't like it, you are not the main character in the entire world. You're not. Let's let 2024 be the year that we call out people and let them know it's not about you. You not liking someone's hairstyle is not a reason to spend tons of money and send protest trucks to JYP. I thought it was so embarrassing. Like, I saw the headlines that Stays did this, and it made me mad because I'm a Stay and I would never in a million years do that. That's so ridiculous. And that just shows what those fans are focused on. Like, I'm sure they don't care about the music at all. And it worries me because as Stray Kids get bigger, they're going to attract fans who want to be fans of theirs because they're the biggest group, not necessarily because they vibe with the message or the music. That happens all the time. I think we all knew it was coming. A lot of fans from another fandom have now transitioned to Stray Kids. I just don't want it to be toxic. I don't want stuff like that. And that's embarrassing. So, all of us, let's try to kind of keep things above the line and not do that. And if you're going to spend that much money to represent the fandom, why not give it to charity? Why not say, Stray Kids inspire me to be a better person and to help the world? And I want to use this money as a stay to show what an amazing fandom we are. And we're changing the world in a positive way. Instead, you're sending protest trucks saying you don't like their hair. That is embarrassing. Shame on you. Shame on you. Sorry for the rant. Time to move on. aespa and the boys will headline the Crazy Super Concert here in LA on February 10th at BMO Stadium. I love both of those groups, so you may just see me there. I'll keep you updated and let you know. A lot of comebacks. 2024 has kicked off. January is here, and it's going to be a busy month. AB6 has a comeback on January 22nd. Even their first ever comeback is January 22nd. So I reviewed them on my 5 groups I thought deserved more attention at the end of the year last year. If you want to listen to that review, check out the episode. But we're getting first comeback January 22nd. Perfect. CIX comeback January 24th. So that week is busy. Then we have the ladies of Twice. It's official, February 23rd. New music from Twice. Dio from EXO is officially working on new music. This will be his first time, new agency. I think they're saying that's in May. So we've got a little bit, but we have a lot coming at the end of January. Of course, there's tons of new music coming in the next couple weeks. ITZY, Rise, Minnow, SF9. There's a lot happening. So there's never a dull moment in K-pop where you don't have new music and new comebacks. We got to transition into some sad news, which I'm sure many of you know. I mentioned I watch a lot of K-dramas, and just devastating news in the world of Korean entertainment happened very recently when Lee Sun-kyun passed away. This is a tough one. He's super talented and he gained international stardom. He's not just known as a Korean actor or a K-drama actor. He was in the movie, he starred in the movie Parasite, which won Oscars. So this is international news. And very, very sad. Very, very sad. And to be honest, I'm angry that someone was pushed into a corner where he felt like this was the only option he had. I want to be very clear. This isn't a mental health and depression problem. This is a cultural problem. South Korea has the highest suicide rate. But look at all the comments. Look at all the comments under sites. Go to all K-pop and read the comments. A lot of Koreans who comment on media posts are very unforgiving. There's no grace. There's no second chances. The judgment and cruelness of their society is something I will never be okay with. And I know as an American, talking about K-pop and talking about Korean culture, there's some things that I love about their culture, and there's some things maybe I don't vibe with. And I think people from around the globe would say the same thing about Americans. We all have different cultures, we all have different ways of living. But one thing I love about our culture and entertainment world, if a celebrity screws up, it's not the end of the world. There's a public apology and they'll move on and they still have a career. Even celebrities that do some horrible stuff. So that maybe isn't as good. But I think there's something to be said for forgiveness and for being able to kind of, accept the consequences of what you've done. Maybe you won't be popular, maybe you'll lose roles, but to be publicly pressured in the way that they do in Korea to where someone feels like their only option is to not be alive is horrific. It's horrific and it shouldn't be part of anyone's culture. We're all human beings and we all mess up. I know. It's shocking. I'm not perfect. Hard to admit, but I've made major mistakes and I've felt awful at times in my life. And you feel like the world's collapsing on you. But the one thing is, everyone makes mistakes. And you start the next day and you rebuild and you move forward. To not have that option would be so suffocating. And they wonder why they're number one in suicide. And the thing is, we've seen this now over and over and over again in Korean entertainment. It's not going to stop because it's not a specific problem where I'm so sick of seeing mental health. If you need help, call this hotline. That's not what happened here. That's not what happened here. This guy was blackmailed and extorted and put on public trial by the media and the police. It's disgusting. And we had just talked about what happened with G Dragon, how they kept trying to find ways to say he was guilty, even though he passed every single test. And they finally had to say, yeah, he didn't do anything wrong in his drug scandal, which wasn't. But this happens over and over and over again. And a lot of times, something that most people don't know, these K-pop idols who have sadly taken their lives, these celebrities, there's stuff going on behind the scenes that the public doesn't know about. And I will almost guarantee you there's blackmail. And I will almost guarantee you that they couldn't afford it anymore. So instead of the scandal coming out, that's the choice they make. That is tragic. That is tragic. And that shouldn't be something that's acceptable in any culture or any society. I am heartbroken over this loss, just like the rest of them, because it doesn't have to happen. So I really wish people would stop talking about depression and mental illness and instead put the focus on this culture and society that forces people into a corner with public scrutiny and this unforgiving bullshit. It's bullshit. I'm sorry to be so passionate and go on a rant, but I just I don't want to keep seeing this happen. I don't want to keep seeing this happen. It's a gut punch when you see that headline. There is some public scrutiny about what happened here because he was an international actor. He was very famous worldwide, and I'm happy to see that. Kudos to this journalist writing about it and really putting the police department, the media, the prosecutor on blast. This was so avoidable. And it's an absolute tragedy. My thoughts and prayers are with his two sons and his wife. And to the blackmailers and to people like that, hell is too nice of a place. And I hope he rests in peace and he deserved a hell of a lot better. I really hope in 2024, I don't have to read about anyone in Korean entertainment who passes away in this manner. That's my hope. Sorry, I hate starting the new year with like a rant and with something so devastating, but I felt like I had to say something about it because, again, this was massive, massive news. I had friends asking me about it because they know I cover K-pop, Korean entertainment, and I actually used to write a lot about K-dramas. So this definitely felt hard. And probably some of you listening, I know some of you, we've talked, watched my Mister, and we're huge fans of his. So this is a really sad time, and hopefully we don't have to do this anymore. Okay, moving on. I'm grateful to be here for another year. Talk about how life is precious and short. 2024, we made it here. We're all here. And I'm so grateful and I'm so excited. I'm excited for the show. I'm working really hard to make this successful and huge. And I'm going to manifest some big numbers, lots of subscribers, and a huge year. I've been in the game now for a while. I'm hoping 2024 is a year that the podcast elevates and that things kind of elevate and start moving forward in a big way. I'm excited for the new year. New fandom face off is coming very soon. Don't worry. Didn't forget A to E Engine. I've got my contestants ready. The problem in December is there's so much going on with everyone. You have work parties, year-end, work commitments. You have traveling, family, holidays. It's very hard to schedule 4 people at the same time. So we're going to do it in January. We're going to get this done. And I'm really excited to bring you that. All of these cool things with the podcast are coming, all of the things I've always wanted with merch and Patreon. And I will have a website up for you shortly. So things are happening and I'm very excited. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the show. I know that sounds so stupid. And to be honest, I've never been big on subscribing because I'm like, well, I watch every week. You get my views. But numbers are so important in this game. So my subscriber number is the first question, is the first thing people look at. And it's part of kind of the algorithm that eventually could make me some money. So if you like what you hear, if you want to support me, please make sure you're subscribed, follow on social media, all that fun stuff. But most importantly, I just love having you here. I love having you listening and being a part of this world and of this community. And I think it might be time to name the listeners. For New York City K-pop queens, our listening community was lovingly referred to as Queendom. I think it's time to do that with you guys. I don't know if you have any name suggestions. I've got a few in mind, but I'm not married to any idea yet. So let me know if you have a name suggestion. Let's for real build this community. Thank you for being with me. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season, and we're going to kick 2024 off in a really positive way. Let's have a great year. Let's have a great year. Happiness, health, love, and wealth. I will be here every week. New episodes drop Friday morning. Next week, I've got Rise, I've got ITZY, and a few other new releases. So you want to know who else I'm reviewing? You're going to have to come back. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of my life and a part of my world. I do not take you for granted. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I love you. I wish you a happy new year, and I will talk to you next week. Bye, friends.